Yo, 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 what's going on, YouTube? It's your boy Nate the Great coming at you with another live. You already know if you're new to the channel, like, share, comment, and subscribe. So, returning friends and family, I already know it's peace and blessings. I give y'all a little bit of time to tune in case these notifications ain't go out. First things first, you already know, happy Taco Tuesday, happy Taco Tuesday. Hopefully, everybody was able to get through the work day. Hopefully, kids was able to get through the day as well. And again, hopefully, everybody enjoyed themselves over the weekend. Commander baby. Mook, mook. Appreciate everybody that tuned in earlier for the conversation. Definitely was another good one. And if you missed it, you catch the replay. Tonight, as you see, the title is what it is. I ain't gonna delve too long on it tonight. I just feel there are certain aspects to what's being done on a psychological tip. So, yeah, it's good to just bring an awareness and also just try to tap into what's going on. Cool gamer, what's going on? James, what's going on, my guy? See, it's not gonna be really that different. Tracy, happy New Year, baby. I'm gonna be honest with you. Psychological warfare that's been placed upon and the effects of it. It's not that far off from what we've been speaking about. Um, some psychological traumas are being placed upon you, whether you believe it or not. There's certain things you are being hit to, certain things that you are being subliminally sucked into, basically. And you see it not just in your neighborhoods, you also see it on it. In my opinion, that's a psychological tool being used because what you're promoting is not just full on destruction, but destruction of mankind as we speak. Now, came across a video, like I was saying earlier, um, despite whatever, it didn't set a good precedent or a message. I said it was a group of kids sitting on a bench or sitting on the bleachers actually of a park. Another group came up, even though it was blanks, prop guns, and all of that, right? Still sends a bad message. I've always felt when you play around with weapons, even when they blank weapons, uh, it's still like a form of cursing yourself, basically. Because trust me, I don't believe nobody wants to die by the hands of a gun. Now, see, I will say it like this too. You have people who will get mad at specific things that are being presented, different things that are definitely being used for good. Yet and still, you have a problem when it comes to the other situation. We have a problem, but we can't get rid of it. We can't exit out. Serious, what's going on, baby? Now again, they'll get mad at you for trying to do something good and just constructive and even entertaining. Won't get mad at you when again it's presenting stuff that shouldn't be presented. That type of video, even if it was just for whatever, it shows a bad precedent of this is exactly what's really going on in a lot of these cities and communities. Young ones is out here with the guns and they are killing off at a real bad rate. There are some who feel they might have to do certain things for their protection, but in all honesty, shouldn't even be in that realm of thinking anyway. Again, that type of video right there will be circulated, right? And again, it doesn't matter if it was a fake video. It's the fact that you are showing what could actually happen or what actually does happen. Part of the psychological warfare we seeing is even down to what I've been talking about, the gun violence, period. On all levels, it's psychological trauma. You wanna know why it's psychological trauma in that instance right there? Because that's breaking up something. That's breaking up a family. That's breaking up any type of real foundation. It gets nowhere. It causes psychological trauma to the victim because whether that victim survives or not doesn't matter. It's going to definitely change their world and the people around them forever. And again, you have to be mindful of the images that you are presenting. Realist McCoy, what's going on? Now, see, on any level that you look at it, any level that you deal with it, there will be a psychological trauma to that. For some, the trauma comes because they've been hit and now they're in a wheelchair forever. It's gonna mess with them. In some instances, it can change them. In some cases, it's gonna make them strong. Nonetheless, it shouldn't have to go that far anyway. You can't give back that part of peace in your mind when you've been a victim of that. But again, the violence will always continue because it's being presented on all angles. Everything from news to videos to just seeing what you see outside in the streets. Just before this live started, I don't know what the hell took place, but it looked like it's about to get crucial tonight. If I hear helicopters within the next 10, 15 minutes, I know definitely something went on. That's another thing that will cause psychological trauma when you're in areas that is continuously prone to the same stereotypical violence, ignorance, and it shapes nothing. Same division tactic. It will cause trauma mostly on the youth because again, they're gonna ask questions. They're gonna wonder why. And then after a while, they're gonna get tired of just wondering why. The worst type of psychological traumas is the ones that affect the kids, even into adulthood. Some people never, they never get rid of it. It's like a piece of them that's stuck to that part of life because things could have went different. Susanna, Happy New Year, baby. Sorry, but those traumas are never curable, and when they are curable, you better hope it's not too late. There's psychological traumas that will be placed on kids because look at what they see in the streets sometimes. What we used to show, we don't show no more. Even when there was disagreements, there was still ways to deal with it diplomatically without having to come to any blows or anything, even when you know it was people around. There's a certain decorum and a certain code that we abided by. It's starting to fade away in the worst ways. Man, what's going on, my guy? I already know y'all just tuned in the like button. There's too many traumas that you're seeing, right? You could be a part of changing that. The effects will always remain the same. The fact that you have to worry about those type of situations within your own community, within your own realms, it should make you not just be outraged, but should propel you to do something. But as long as those things are not being done, those codes are not being restored, orders not being restored, it's going to get worse before it does get better. There are some people who catch traumas because if they ain't been able to really get out and do anything, just sitting inside to have you going through the motion. Oh, sound like somebody going to jail again tonight. See, even that is a trauma right there. I'm gonna skip the gun violence right now, and I'm gonna go to the aspects of people just not being aware that constantly getting locked up for nonsense outside of nonsense. It's a psychological trauma, not just to yourself, but to the people around you and your family again, especially if you do have a family. Ain't nobody gonna want to hear their mother or their father not coming home for God knows how long. That will cause a trauma right there because a bond is being broken, the family. Kev, what's going on, my guy? And again, this is not preachable moment. It's just a teachable moment. From the outside looking in. It's critical that some of y'all break that chain of oppression, break that chain of the negative thinking. And I say some of you because I know there's some of you who are only doing what you're doing because again, you're being influenced, you're going with the flow, you think everything is going to be what it is, but in certain circumstances, it might not be. Again, you are causing trauma. Prime example, some of you fellas who are going back and forth to jail, knowing you have families to protect out here. Um, you're causing the trauma and you don't believe it, but you are. It causes trauma to a degree, especially to the children when they got to go see a family member behind the walls, getting on a long bus trip or car ride to go up there, being searched, making sure that there's nothing being done outside the ordinary besides just a visit. It's not a good look. It really isn't. And I'm not passing judgment, just saying it from a logical standpoint. You're blessed to have a family. You're supposed to be the protector of your family, regardless to what. You're causing the trauma not just to your kids, but if you're married or You got a girlfriend that you've been with a long time, depending on what the situation is. You are causing the trauma. That trauma might not be might not be beneficial on either end. Sorry to say it that way, it's not. Because if there's a situation where you end up having to do life in jail, how do you think that's going to work out? You are going to watch your kids grow from behind a cell for life, which nobody should ever have to do. And that right there will cause a psychological trauma within yourself. The fact that you are letting precious time go away over something you didn't need to do. Something that should really resonate and sit in the minds of some of you, young and old. See, I know these are the type of talks that some people don't want to have. Most people are probably going to sit there. Oh, no, no. This is a talk that is needed because, again, when you break down the barriers of the psychological traumas in life, guess what? Some of them are not too far off as far as what's the common problem. And the common problem, again, is just choices that you're making. The effects of a household being broken, the traumas can vary. Kids could resent you. If there's a situation where the mother must move on, you're not thinking about that. Or if the father must move on, you're not thinking about that. Again, I'm speaking on both levels because it's not just men that cause destruction, especially destruction of themselves. You have to keep yourself in the most positive spirits, even when things look real grim. Because again, it is a test of faith, it's a test of your humbleness, it is a test of your journey. Because again, in life, you're going to have different battles and different roads to travel. But those roads should never cause those type of traumas, not to yourself, not to your family, not to your loved ones. Again, it's not just about you. Some people lose touch of that until it becomes too late again. And I think that's the worst thing about it. Juice, what's going on, baby? See, talks like this, you're gonna have different people that are gonna give their view and opinion. Me, I'm always gonna give you a view and opinion, but I'm also gonna give you some facts along with that. The uncomfortable talks, yeah, we need to have those. It is time to start shaping and gripping reality the way we were supposed to. Get back to what we was doing before. No, you can't save everybody. We know that. But the ones that actually could be saved, this is why these messages go out. Because there is somebody who's actually in the middle of turmoil. They don't know which way exactly they're gonna push the direction of life. Oh shoot, happy belated baby. Where was you at, baby? We were supposed to be up in the club, baby. Blessings to, for another year around the sun. Juice, you already know what it is, baby. But again, the traumas, they don't sit well. Again, just imagine you being a mother of beautiful kids, locked up for life for following the wrong direction in life. Juice, why you ain't come in? We was in the club, man. Come on, man. We was out here rocking out in the club. Well, happy belated. Don't worry, we got you tomorrow, baby. We got you tomorrow. Again, those traumas, they don't sit well. How could you look yourself in the mirror? How could you look yourself in the spirit and realize you didn't necessarily have to do that? It shouldn't take for you to really hit a brick wall for you to realize that life is precious when you outside. Again, it's about making an opportunity to break that oppression chain, to break whatever you feel is being the downfall and the detriment. Getting yourselves locked up for nonsense, especially in spots where they don't play that, you will be doing serious time. There's no need for that. Why miss out important parts of your kid's life? And that right there could even cause a psychological trauma. There are kids who have probably grown up damn near half their life without either parent because either both of them locked out, strung up, if they ain't passed on, or if they ain't somewhere out there just roaming the world. Again, that causes a trauma. See, those type of talks people don't want to have because again, you'll get some you'll get some emotions that you really don't want to get. You'll have people say, "Well, you don't have, or you don't." Yeah, but I know what it feels like again to actually raise, whether you want to believe it or not. See, if I would have crashed out, prime example, who knows where my brother would be at? Especially well after the fact of us suffering from our trauma when that didn't know well. I could have, and still when that did well. So again, even in the toughest times, you don't have to just grip up everything that you got and give it your best shot. Don't don't put your life in danger, and definitely don't put that just on a risk, a risky one on top of that. Silverback, what's going on, my guy? Again, you will bear the burden of those traumas. Those outcomes ain't gonna be good. And in certain instances, again, your kids will resent you or they will hate you. I'm sorry to say it, but it is true. Because once they get of a certain age, you're gonna put two and two together. There's different types of psychological traumas that we are seeing are being fed right now. And we digging deep into it only because again, this is one way of a method to get to some sort of conclusion and balance that we need. On a different level now. The psychological traumas of violence on any accord, right? That is another thing. I keep speaking about that because it should resonate with some of you. Any type of violence, whether it's domestic, doesn't matter, will cause a trauma. And the effects of that trauma will be as is. Your children will learn that this is the proper way to keep somebody by being violent or accepting violence as a way of love. There should never be no real domestic anything, especially again around those kids. And some of y'all who's still doing that even outside. And again, you're causing a psychological trauma. No need for you to be fighting, especially when you are in front of your kids. Still no need to be fighting each other, period. Sometimes cooler heads need to prevail. So if that means you both got to step away from each other, do so. But make sure you're doing it within the realms again of coming back and restoring whatever you had. Appreciate you for dropping all those links, serious baby. The psychological trauma of kids being around any of that type of violence and negativity, again, it plagues their mind. They will have aggressions. They will have questions. They think they will know all the answers to the suggestions. It's not going to work. I hear you, Juice. See, again, you're going to have talks like this, and it might be uncomfortable for some. And again, I'm not trying to trigger nobody. But again, these are the type of talks that need to have because it is time for that part to change. I feel any man or woman should have at least that much dedication to each other and that much of a common ground to say, look, there's just some things we are not going to do, even if we are going through it. We are not going to do it for the sake of these kids. But when you don't set that balance, you don't set that rule, that guideline right there, that right there starts the junction. And see, I would advise anybody that has been a victim of any of those type of circumstances to again go try to get you help as soon as possible. If you don't, the effects of the psychological trauma you just suffered will spew over. It will consume you. And it won't look good for you or anybody that's around you. It will be like a incurable poison. It's going to poison everything it touches until you get rid of it. And part of getting rid of it a lot of times is having to talk. Even when you don't want to, you need to have it. It's good to get off everything you need to get off of your brain and off your heart. Because again, stress is still the number one killer. Violence on all accords being shown and being presented, that's trauma right there. That's psychological warfare because again, you're showing that this is what society is supposed to be about. And that is not the case. Again, it's not a good look when your kids have to go through the suffering with you. Riders, what's going on, baby? Definitely happy New Year again to everybody that's pulling in tonight. We'll drop the link at some point in case anybody want to chime in on the conversation. But I feel this is how you get deep to the core of everything. Miss T, happy New Year, baby. Again, you're gonna have to have these uncomfortable, unsettling talks. Because again, it does bring healing for those who have already either been through it or people who could be in the midst of going through that. Or it could just give good awareness so people can avoid it. Because again, those type of psychological traumas have the worst effects. I think another thing that's causing that type of aggression to come out is again because the roles are not being played the way they're supposed to be played. Now, I feel like this: if you're going to actually lay down with somebody, wouldn't care if you married or not. I'm just saying it from a logical standpoint. If that's going to be somebody that you are going to create a family with, you need to create more than just a strong bond. Definitely need to create that safety net again because it's not solely about you. It's not solely about her. It's about what you're bringing to the world. It's about being one. So this way, there is nothing that will harm or cause harm within the balance of what you build. See, a conversation like this, I'm gonna have a part two to it. I will. I'm getting to the nitty gritties though. This is what I'm saying. You have to realize that when you spark that type of evil within your realms, chaos will ensue. Trust me, it will. We have seen situations where violence was occurring in the home on either level, and the kids had to endure that to a point where they had to get up and battle. And no kid should have to get up and battle between either parent to try to stop what's going on. See, this is the thing I'm saying. If you know y'all not committed towards each other in any way, shape, or form, there should be no reason why you're bringing kids into the world together. I've always felt that once you connected with somebody and that's what it is, and once kids involved, now you are solely a family. Keep it together. Psychological trauma, um, and the effect of it. Breaking up the happy home will definitely cause wreck. It will. Keith, what's going on, my guy? Oh, I'm not talking about that part. I know what you're talking about, Juice. I ain't talking about that part, which is a scary number. Um, I hope that's not the right number. I'm gonna delve into that. But again, that's the worst type of visuals to present, especially when there are kids involved. because again, you are inciting that this is what's necessary. You want to keep a strong relationship with somebody, you're gonna have to get aggressive with them. You're gonna have to disrespect them. You're gonna have to probably hurt them. That's not the way that works. You show somebody that you love them, not just with words, but with the actions. The actions of violence around anything that is young, that's not the message to be sent. Again, y'all got to learn to effectively communicate on all levels. We've lost that. We've lost it because, again, we have just numbed down to allowing certain things to just be. There are people who are being prime example, teased, bullied, so on and so forth, right? And that, even in a sense, causes some psychological trauma to some. The psychological warfare. See, I've always believed this. That right there is a shared sign of self hate and you trying to deflect it onto somebody else. It doesn't work. Yeah, I know where you was going with that. I'm gonna delve into that part, probably part two. Don't worry, Juice. You know we on it. But I'm speaking about the violence aspect of it. Again, that right there will cause the only hurt and pain in their heart. Your child should see their mother or their father bloodied or bruised up. And again, breaking up the home, the worst type of fear. Again, you got to be careful of what you present and what you don't. That right there is a disservice because again, once you are bringing children into the world together, now there's more than just a bond. You are supposed to create that strength and that barrier to keep y'all protected at all times. There's some psychological traumas happening to people because they're different. And they're different as far as they could be on the other side of the spectrum. That right there could cause psychological warfare and trauma to them. Oh, trauma affects everybody. It affects everybody, whether you believe it or not. Now I'm gonna skip the violence in the home right now, right? Only because I'm gonna delve into that on another time too. But when there's violence being presented on all levels, even when you coming on platforms or you seen it on TV, that right there is causing a psychological warfare right there. It is. If I turn from one station to another and all I'm seeing is death and violence, what is that essentially doing? I'm being programmed. I'm being programmed to believe that this is what's going on in society all day, every day. If I keep seeing the same old common movies from channel to channel, that's still throwing something in it. That's if I allow it. See, when you're young, you know no better. And right there is a psychological trauma because I feel you're supposed to teach them the right ways. And even if you're going to present them around certain things of that nature, you need to be breaking down what's going on. See, there were a lot of violent movies. Don't get it twisted. Throughout history, we done seen some violent, gory movies, whether they was action, horror, whatever. But a majority of the times, we didn't watch them unless the parents was watching. If the parents was watching, they were still teaching. They were still letting you know that this is all just imaginary. This is fake. You don't commonly see that happening no more now. And even when the questions are being asked, you have to present the right answers. You are doing a disservice to a degree when you are allowing the wrong things to cause those traumas. Essentially, you want to change the balance on things in life, and it can be done. But see, the different type of psychological warfare that have been presented to us over the course of time has become one big melting pot in my opinion. Again, I'm not judging nothing or anything, just speaking from the outside looking in. Take the time and realize that again, if you are still plugged into that matrix of thinking and learning, you're not going to be able to change the course of anything. It's time to raise the bar and the standard the way it's supposed to be raised. And for the good. Not gonna lie to you, the traumas, the psychological warfare, as far as the violence that have been, presented to us in all ways, shapes, and form. Again, it goes to show that it's just a distraction, number one, but it's also a danger and a curse. Anita, what's going on, baby? I already know if y'all just tuned in at the like button. If y'all new to the channel, like, share, comment, and subscribe. This right here, clear facts right here. It's just nothing but another division tactic, a psychological tactic. What better way for people to crumble quicker than to just divide them? What better way to break up the structure and mess up a foundation than to crumble the resources? And that's another thing. If you are going to come together and bring kids into the world, they have to be protected on all angles, even down to the financials. Yes, you both must be doing something. It's about restoring order again. Again, there's some of y'all who should take this approach. I wouldn't care even if you do have an issue with somebody. When you know there could be kids around, there could be older folks around, or people that just not aware of what's going on, deal with it the right way. Be adults about it. And never let the disrespect take you out of your character. No doubt, Tracy, appreciate you, baby. You could catch the rest of the replay. See, I wanted to bring this out tonight because, again, those traumas don't go away. the nature of the violence that we've seen or that we have seen or come across, it paints a real bad picture. And it leaves a sour taste in your mouth, but it also leaves a grim picture in your mind. And that right there is how some of it starts. We have to start reprogramming and reteaching the right methods that will keep some of these traumas from actually happening. And I say some because again, you are have those who are just they already programmed to just live in the doom that they want to live in. And that's all good. But for the ones who know they can make the difference, it's time for you to start. Prime example with the violence again. Just picture kids coming home or the kids going to school. And before they even get to the school, they are seeing violence at a high level. I'm gonna be honest with you. There's a lot of traumas that could be caused even towards the youth, even down to your schools. I'm gonna dig into that too, because again, some of the things that are happening in school, we couldn't do that then. We couldn't do half the things that we see are being done now. The most we ever had to worry about was the initial gang ups and just the indifferences. But other than that, it wasn't as bad as it is now. I appreciate that, Juice. But see, I can speak from that experience because again, everybody has been a youth coming up. Yeah, you've experienced some traumas in your life. And some of it was done on a grand scale because that's just how it was supposed to be programmed to be done, right? But you didn't allow it to stop you from growing, excelling, and elevating in life. See, I ain't gonna lie, we didn't have to worry about stabbings, shootings, anything along those lines. It was always the occasional fights, but again, key word fights, no weapons involved. That means even if it was being ruckus in there, it was being a ruckus. Guess what? It was just going to be cuts, scabs, and bruises done by hands or whatever. It wasn't like it is now. The way to break some of those traumas for real is getting the grip on society the way we supposed to. Again, just think about it. There's traumas that nobody should ever have to worry about. Again, even down to gun violence. That old saying, a bullet don't have a name nor a target, that is true, especially if it's being done by the wrong people. And again, I'm going right back to the beginning. Those traumas right there will mess up everything in the people, especially the people in that society. It will make it hard for people to trust. It will make it hard for people to really rest. And that right there is a psychological trauma. You know, warfare right there. It's a war because guess what? You got to try to get back to some sort of peace and common ground. Love, baby, what's going on, baby? And once you feel like you've been in that situation right there, you have to learn not just to cope with it, you have to learn to make sure that it doesn't become a valuable part of your life. Or don't let it be a detrimental part of your life. Main thing again, you got to keep the spirit up no matter what you're going through. But again, it's hard to when you have traumas being presented to you on a daily. It causes trauma when the kids are in these areas where there's nonstop violence, shootings, stabbings, everything along those lines, jumpings, beatings, people being shaky and being scared, making mistakes. That right there again is a trauma that nobody should never have to ever go through. But in certain spots, it is happening. And it's sad because again, we ain't got enough teaching going on. This is why the code that we had before is disappearing. Some of the OGs act like they too scared to step up. Some of the youngins act like they scared to step up. And I'm speaking again to some that need to hear it. I ain't speaking to everybody else. Didi, what's going on, you shadow baby? At some point, the cylinders are gonna have to change. We're gonna have to redirect everything that was being taught and really unplug from it. Tamika, what's going on, baby? But sometimes it's hard to get these things out of your subconscious when again it's being presented to you. There are things that again shouldn't have to really deal with. That right there will cause the psychological trauma in your life. And then you're losing your spirit behind it. You are. If you're gonna have disagreements, again, be diplomatical and be logical with it. It should never have to go that far. Especially when you know what the outcomes and the ramifications will be. And again, nobody wins on that level. Everybody loses. Time to start coming to real reasoning. And if it ain't worth it, get rid of it. I keep repeating it because it's the truth. It's something that needs to be said. Something even in your little conscience should tell you when it needs to be stopped. The psychological burden again of those type of ills and violence being presented, they shape the wrong pattern and the wrong ideas. And I'm here to tell people again to know your self worth. That is another reason why I feel this is another psychological warfare in the making. There are too many people not caring about themselves on all levels. And again, whatever you think might be causing the trauma, you just get rid of it. If you see, prime example, your soul traumas are coming from just being around the wrong influences and just keeping yourself in the wrong areas, remove yourself from it. Some people are causing psychological damage on their own selves because they won't remove themselves from the situations they need to remove themselves from. Again, it is about choices in life. I believe certain situations wouldn't happen or wouldn't propel the way it propels if, again, everybody would just get it together and see what's solely important. But we know everybody ain't. So for the ones who can get it together, again, think about everything that needs to be thought about. You want to see your kids grow. You want to be visual and the physical part. You got to make sure you beat it. Juice, you better stop that. You ain't no damn Debbie Downer, baby. You know how it is over here. Come on, Juice. You been here long enough. You know how we are. Get it out. Like I tell everybody, that's another way we break some of these psychological warfare tactics. You got to start embracing each other on the right path. Pixie, what's going on, baby? Again, it's therapeutic to have those talks. Because those talks in the long run will definitely shape something better. It will bring healing, especially again to those who need it. It will bring wisdom, insight, and knowledge on the right tip. And again, it's an awareness of what to be looking for, signs of what to look for. So you don't have to worry about going through it. You know what it is though, Juice? What you just said, see what it is? Again, some people just they had a hard time letting it go. But now that they're able to start letting it go, you know, it feels good. And that's the main thing you want to do is feel good. Raise your spirit to the highest. Again, you gotta think about it. They want you to think that you can't win. They want you to think that you can't grow, you can't be successful. You just gotta stay at the bottom. Nah, you gotta keep raising yourself up. In order to break those chains of oppression and the psychological warfare that they have been giving us, we gotta realize that a lot of that stuff ain't what it really is. It's just a facade. It's a way to keep us asleep. And when some of you wake up to that realization, no, trust me, your movements will be different. You will definitely see it for what it is. Juice, you already know. Come on, man. We family, baby. No, I ain't calling you by your new name no time soon. So, it's still all up, baby. Again, it's about creating safety on all levels. Your mind has to be safe and clear from anything that could definitely harm you in that state. Again, it's about being around the right people that's going to uplift you too. I believe that's how you beat the process. Once you realize that and come to terms, you'll go on to be a better person. You can go on to live your life the way you see fit. Yeah, so you've been around with me since before content. So come on, you know how we do it. Shoot. Again, there's some of you before I did content. This is what it was. You always want to get something real from me, even if it's being typed in. I don't do nothing but just present what needs to be presented. Straight talk that we need. Some of these conversations might seem like it's a trigger, it might be cold, but it's needed nonetheless. Because again, how do you break a chain of oppression if you can't sit down and have some, you know, let out some aggression the way you're supposed to? You got to be able to open up. When you are bringing these talks, again, you waking up the subconscious. You waking up everything that should be right about it. And see, when you are having these type of talks, a lot of times, you're gonna get stuff that you really don't want. But again, you don't let that phase or negate anything that you don't. See, and that's the most important part that we lost in this psychological warfare. We lost the laughter and the love the way we had it. The only time it seemed to be laughter and love on a real joyous occasion amongst the people is when it's at somebody else's expense. And see, even that right there will cause somebody drama and trauma. Be mindful of the people that you think you putting down, or be mindful of the people that you think you saying something to. You don't know what they could be going through. And that right there will cause chaos within chaos. It is about learning to love again. It is about not just practicing what you preach, but just making sure you reaching the people that need to be reached. Juice, you know what? At some point you will. And I'm gonna be honest with you, since you going to. A lot of times again, you just gotta be able to let it go. However you feel is gonna work, let it go. You can't control whatever happened in your past. You can only control what's going on in your present so you can reach for a better future. Do believe that part. And even in situations like that, again, you just got to remove yourself from what's bringing you down. Again, if it don't bring you no richness in spirit, if it don't bring you no fulfillment and no happiness, that means you got to separate and break ties from it. Again, it's all about elevation. Elevate yourself to a state where you're strong within, strong outside, and you could beat those odds. Whatever's being thrown at you, you could throw it back. And shoot, if anything has been thrown at you, break it down. Do what you got to do, incorporate the important lessons out of it, and then you go right back on about your day. That's how you're supposed to do it. Juice, you already know, baby. Appreciate you, serious. You already know, baby. But you got to look at it. How you break down life is solely how you look at it. There's some things you're going to witness that, again, nobody should have to witness. Nobody should have to encounter. But some of those encounters will give you life wisdom, lessons, and you know how to beat those odds from it. Sometimes you gonna have to take something out of something negative and build positively out of it. The main thing I can tell you is that again, even when you feel like you have to hide and hold everything in, it's not the safe way to do it. Because you're gonna stress yourself out trying to contain that. And if it's too much of a burden, again, you got to sit down with the right people, or even just take your time to yourself and let it go. Again, do some healing, meditation, something. See, that's the most thing I try to present over here too. I try to present just peaceful thinking, peaceful conversations, and even the tough topics that we need to have. Look, this is just what's needed. Main thing to do, I'll be honest with you, and that's one way to start it, Juice. Just write down a journal of your thoughts. And even if you don't write, you got a mental journal. Your brain is your mental journal. Your brain is your notebook, your pad, your whatever you want to call it. Just got to remember to write down on one side the most important things. And on the other side, just things that you trying to get rid of that's going to bring you to a better state. Biscuits, what's going on, baby? Happy New Year, baby. See, again, unsettling talk, you're going to have it. That's just life. But again, these talks do bring a healing. It does bring an understanding. And again, in order to break those psychological traumas that we are seeing, you're going to have to grip up for real. And that means even on topics that is hard to talk about, you're going to have to talk about. Bring them to a worldwide situation. It's needed. You definitely have the keys to shape your destiny the right way. And in order to beat the odds again, you got to unlock the right potential, the right doors. And if you opening the wrong doors and they just not showing you nothing clear, close it back and lock it up. Before you even get into there, just look and see what is showing. If you opening up this door and it's showing you nothing but negative, destruction, and violence, why would you want to go in that door? If you got another door that's showing you positive opportunities, even just by utilizing and calculating the decisions you're making in your own, you will want to go in that one. It's just a sole choice, though. Again, a choice that's yours. See, I was going to kind of dig deep into the rabbit hole tonight, but I'm not. Like I said, that part two is coming. I'm gonna dig deep on that one. And I'll definitely keep y'all posted on when that part two is coming. 'Cause yeah, we're gonna dig a little deeper, just like we were somewhat digging deep tonight. I'm gonna say for all the situations I just brought up tonight, just on the violence aspect of things, again, the effects will be misery, anguish, pain, self-destruction. You name it, that's what it's gonna be. And again, until you fix this whole problems that you need to fix, uh, it's gonna get even worse. But the most you should do again is just take the time to love the fact that you are able to breathe. You are still able to make something happen. That is the whole purpose and the whole thrill of life. Elevating even when the odds are against you, elevating even when they are trying to show you nothing but negative growth. So, see, some people ain't going to listen to it because, again, they have already been wired and programmed to think that way. You can't do nothing with those people. But for the ones who are still somewhat lost, you have time. But again, you can't waste time either. It is precious. When you digging deep into this aspect of things again, the violence aspect of it doesn't show nothing great. And again, that cycle will never get broken. Be mindful of your actions, even around other people. If there's no need to present any type of violence, don't do so. When you have a family, it's about solely protecting your family. You can't protect your family if you locked up, and you can't protect your family if you don't. Just remember that part. You got to bring back again effective listening, critical thinking. Even with the things that are being presented to you on all areas and aspects, you must negate and break down exactly the full truth and the false truth that they're trying to feed you. Main thing to remember again is just being humble to yourself, being humble to a process that you're building or you're succeeding in life. And then from there, making the necessary steps again to build and grow. I would say psychological trauma and warfare also is coming from insecurity. That's one way that you can break somebody down, is making them feel that insecure to where they end up doing something to themselves. Some for the good, some for the bad. I would always say it's always for the bad if you got to alter who you are just to try to fit in somewhere. It don't work. I never had to alter myself to be anybody but myself. And again, people like it, some people don't like it. But there are people who respect it, period. Because I didn't change up nothing. I might have changed my aspect of thinking about certain things, but that comes with that comes with growing older, being more knowledgeable around the circumstances around, then building from there. See, again, you have to learn that in life. Again, you're gonna have people who say and do the utmost, and they only doing that again to try to break you down. The reason why they trying to break you down, the reason why they trying to make you feel a type of way about anything, is because they already feel that way about themselves. See, again, that's a chain that can be broken. You might have said something to me, that don't necessarily mean it's supposed to affect me. It would only affect me if I made a certain action or a judgment on it. Other than that, it doesn't affect you. Oh, you look like this, that, and the third. Oh, thank you for the compliment. I've heard people call me better or worse. What else you got? Sometimes that's how you gotta nip things in the butt. Well, again, you want to have people that say the utmost because that's just what they want you to do. They want you to cry. They want you to break down. They want you to show a sign of weakness. The minute you do show a sign of weakness, that's how they start. But again, you should have enough confidence in yourself to know that look, you might be unique in more than one way. Like it's the truth. They fear what they don't understand, but they also hate what they can't conquer. And that was one of the realest facts I ever heard, and I believe to this day. They fear when they can't get you to submit. They fear when you stand up on what you need to stand up on and don't give no backbite to it. You see how that works there? Appreciate you, serious baby. See again, this is just coming from personal experiences and personal visuals. But again, it don't be that far off. And I appreciate you, serious. I appreciate everybody that's in here tonight. Y'all already know that. The link is pinned in case anybody do want to chime in tonight. Not gonna hold y'all all night. I just felt this was one part of it I wanted to bring out definitely. One thing I could tell some of y'all is that you don't listen to what people are telling you. You must listen to what you believe in. What you feel is your gift to the world, or what you feel your gift is, you stick to that. There's some people who are going to tell you, oh, you beneath them. When I have people that tell you you're not pretty, they're going to tell you that you're not handsome. They're going to say a lot of shit out their mouth. Excuse me for saying it. They're going to say a lot of stuff out their mouth that they're going to use or try to use on a daily until they get you to actually think and believe that. And honestly, you should have a strong self esteem about yourself not to believe in anything. If it isn't coming from within, you don't need to believe it. LSP, what's going on, baby? Happy New Year, baby. Listen, I can tell you this from experience. I done been called damn near everything in the book, and I laugh at that shit. Cause y'all already know how I am. I could take a joke, but when I give it back, it be hurting. And it be funny. Nonetheless, I never let that stop me from being who I am. It never changed who I am. See, some traumas are coming for some people because again, you focusing about who likes you or who you feel should be amongst your clique. You roll with the people that have your best interest at heart. That's the one thing you should always remember. See, even that got me far in life. Being around the right people that was gonna have my best interest, but also make sure my family didn't have to worry about the nonsense. Trust me, I was a hothead. This is what some people need to get though. This is why I am the way I am. Nonetheless, still got a common decorum and real sense to know that look, life is what you make it. You can't help who you are, can't help what you are. But what you can do is help yourself grow out of that stigma. Stop listening to what the world has to say about you, especially when you know it's not truth. Stop listening to it. Stop letting it overwhelm you. Because again, the minute you let it overwhelm you, you will cause harm and danger to yourself more than you think. Again, it's about solely loving yourself. Yes, serious. I was a hothead. You happy? Look, look. You see, you happy? Look at the avatar today. Look at the avatar today. Look. This is two versions of me right here. Look at it. Look at this. Two versions right here. Look at this. You got baby eulogy, and then you got adult eulogy. Look at them. Look at them. Baby eulogy was real premature. He was premature only because guess what? He didn't care. But then we got the adult holding it. And that adult right there is what you see every day. See that side right there, the little baby right there, yeah. That little baby right there that witnessed and seen some things already. And he could have been crying, could have been out here doing something crazy, you know. Then he evolved. He evolved into the man holding him right there. See what I'm holding in my hand right there. It might look like a little bundle of joy, but that was terror and a half. Yes, that was terror and a half. That was I don't care. You gotta go. That part of me gone. Well, I'm still holding them, but that part of me gone. Part of me didn't need to exist in the first place because I knew where it was going to go. I dealt with traumas in life. Come on, man. You think nobody has? It's just about how you maneuver in life. You're going to have some things that are going to propel you and project you into the right light and into the right path. And that's what you need sometimes. Hold on one second, maybe. Oh, hold on. My phone acting stupid real quick. 1 second. Hold on 1 second. Being disrespected. Keith, Keith, Keith. See, you gonna let this little bundle of joy tell you something he don't want to tell you. I'm trying to be nice today. You see the adult right there that's holding him again? The adult is trying to be nice today. You keep playing around, man. I think you want to talk about foreheads, man. Hold on, man. Hold on, son. Hold on, son. Let me tap into this little baby energy real quick. Let me tap into this little baby eulogy real quick. Hey, what do you what wait, what keeps saying? What? Oh, 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 my bad. See? See you hear the sad sign? But he cool, he cool, he cool. He cool. Nah, but you know, again, it's all about solid choices. What choices do you make? Is it going to be beneficial for you, or are you going to let it be beneficial for those who don't care about you? That's a question that you should solely ask. See, I ain't gonna lie. Tonight was definitely just a piece of it. Like I said, there's gonna be parts to this. 'Cause I solely believe by having these talks, even on a slow, calculated pace, can get to some sort of reasoning and understanding and conclusion. Hold on, I gotta put some respect on this real quick too. Hold on. My bad, y'all. Gotta put some love on this real quick. My scalp piece hurt. Let me give her the right one. Hold on. Let me give her the right one. Wait a minute. I don't think I got the right one. Oh man. I got it. I got it. Appreciate you for that cash app, baby. Nah, you good. You good. I know. Man, listen, they doing a little bit of everything. That's a part of that warfare. That's on another. I'll talk about that on another. We're gonna get rid of this, man. No doubt, Pixie. Appreciate you, baby. Oh yeah, I'm catching up with the chat. Don't worry. Don't worry. Juice, Juice, you've been missing for a minute, so you got to get the official one. Juice, come get little lamb chop. Keith, come get your nephew Randy. Serious. Little Ricky about to have 12 more siblings. Love, baby. Come here, baby. We need you to come get little Cletus and Theophilus. Don't encourage my damn pettiness, man. Come on, man. Time I come back in the chat, y'all doing what y'all doing over here. Oh man. But see, even an uncomfortable talk like this, you don't want to have because again, some point you are going to get laughter. You are going to get some closure. That's what you are supposed to have in life: peace and closure. Close one door that's not leading you nowhere, and you open up another door that will lead you somewhere. And again, the link is pinned in case anybody want to chime in, but if not, I ain't gonna hold y'all along. Just mostly wanted to get this out. You already know this. And yes, I could be back tomorrow morning with the cipher. Let's see how this pan out. Let's see how this pan out. Depending on how this day work tomorrow, you know. You already know, love, baby. The talk like this was needed. And I'm gonna break down on part two a couple other things. Might not want to have these convos, but they're gonna need to be had. With that being said, let me get my ass up out of here. Definitely appreciate everybody that tuned in. And again, you know I see y'all tomorrow. get myself prepared. It's time for these late night munchies, baby. I see some of y'all running around these streets, and you already know talks like this are gonna happen because they need to. Might not like what's being said, might not like the person that's saying it, but you need to accept it. Once you learn to accept that there's no more time for warfares on that type of nature, once you realize that again, we have a sole purpose and we need to get to it, that's what we're gonna get to. The talk will happen. I ain't messing with you, love baby. Oh man. I appreciate that serious. Like I said, I know who's who. I know who's who. And even still I don't allow it to affect me. Never did, never will. Only person that can affect me is myself. So but you already know what it is. Let me get up out of here. Definitely we'll see y'all. Oh yeah, and appreciate everybody that tuned in for the music, even though they was hating. You know what it is though. Tomorrow we'll be on Twitch, so if you ain't following me on there, please make sure you do. Yeah, we're gonna have a wicked Wednesday. A wicked Wednesday. But y'all stay tuned for the madness. But y'all definitely enjoy your evenings. And I'll see y'all running around. If y'all was new to the channel, like, share, comment, and subscribe. Shout outs to the replay gang. Shout out to the Shadow Mafia and the Shadow Babies. Y'all know what it is, baby. Everybody that was in attendance tonight, y'all already know that love is love and it'll be reciprocated as such. I don't know how to be fake. All I'm gonna do is give you real. That's all I'm gonna do is give you real topics and real deal. Y'all enjoy y'all evening. Stay safe. I'll see y'all running around in these streets. It's madness, baby. Man. Y'all stay safe. Keep that third eye open. Until the next live, we out of here. Peace and blessings.